Between the late 19th and early 20th centuries, the performer Kate Rockwell worked in Alaska, attracting isolated locals with singing and dancing numbers. She wore red chiffon and crossed the stage to the sound of popular tunes. Her companion, a bartender at a local saloon, became her agent and organized tours across the American West, in saloons and dance halls. With the profits from Kate Rockwell's shows, her partner invested in buying theaters in Seattle, Washington, building up a circuit. Later, he married another woman and cut ties with the artist. Rockwell died in financial hardship, while her former partner, Alexander Pantages, grew rich and expanded his business. Dora Hand, a popular singer in Dodge City, Kansas, became a central figure in disputes in the West as she attended dances and theaters. In 1878, she was killed by a bullet that went through the wall of her boarding house, fired by James "Spike" Kennedy, a cowboy involved in feuds. The intended target was the mayor. The stray shot left her name marked on the frontier. In 1885, the figure who would become Nellie Bly stood out. At 18, Elizabeth Cochran, then a slender young woman, showed up at the newsroom of the Pittsburgh Dispatch. She declared herself the anonymous author of the article "Girls and Their Sphere in Life," taking on the role of a battle axe and starting her career in journalism right there. The cowgirl twins, Ethel and Juanita Perry, built their careers in the early 20th century. They began in Buffalo Bill's Wild West and later joined the Barnum and Bailey Circus on tour. Their act combined roping and riding with frontier-style skits, including a staged escape and protection of a stagecoach under attack. Rose Dunn, the Rose of Cimarron, born in 1878, played a brief role in the banditry of the Plains, tied to her relationship with George Bitter Creek Newcomb. On September 1, 1893, during the Ingalls Shootout, Oklahoma Territory, marshals surrounded Bill Doolin's gang. Reports say Dunn brought ammunition and a gun to Newcomb, who was wounded. In towns across the American West, city records required prostitutes to buy and carry licenses. The fees collected funded public services like policing and courts. To attract more customers, many attached a photograph to the license displayed in the saloon or room, linking face, legal identity, and offer. In 1872, Victoria Woodhull became the first woman nominated for the U.S. presidency by the Equal Rights Party. Her candidacy was part of the suffrage movement. Funding came from a Wall Street brokerage she ran with her sister Tennessee Claflin, and from the newspaper Woodhull and Claflin's Weekly. Frederick Douglass was nominated as vice president symbolically. Well known among mining communities, Lotta Crabtree started a career that took her from California camps to the Broadway circuit. In Grass Valley, California, she was influenced by Lola Montez. In 1855, at the age of 8, she began performing for miners, dancing in saloons and camps, quickly building her fame. Pearl Hart became notorious in the Old West for taking part in a stagecoach robbery in 1899, a rare episode involving a woman. Captured after a short escape, she was tried, convicted, and sent to prison. Public outcry brought pleas for clemency, but the authorities upheld the sentence, reflecting the social limits of the time. Laura Bullion grew up surrounded by crime. Her father, involved in bank robberies in the American Southwest, shaped her early influences. In her youth, she turned to prostitution to survive. By the late 1890s, she had joined the Wild Bunch gang, where she took part in robberies and became known as the Rose of the Wild Bunch. Belle Siddons was born and raised on a prosperous plantation in the slaveholding South. During the Civil War, at 25, she served the Confederacy, using her social connections for espionage work. After her husband's death, she moved westward and into mining areas, seeking gold and opening a store in what is now South Dakota. Sarah Jane Newman was born in 1817, among the first settlers of the Austin area. In her youth, she experienced frontier conflicts and helped defend family land against frequent raids. Local sources report 5 marriages. Rumors circulate that 2 husbands died under unclear circumstances. Documentation remains uncertain. Mary Catherine Harrony, known as Big Nose Kate, was born into a wealthy family. But at 14, she was orphaned and placed for adoption. Instability led her to drift along the frontier and take up various occupations typical of the forming West. Her life, balancing sought-after independence and personal ties, shows the social and gender tensions of the Old West. Born in 1848 in Missouri to a wealthy family, Myra Maybel Shirley, later Belle Starr, seemed destined for the expected path, a good marriage and domestic life. Moving to Texas in 1864 changed that. There she came into contact with men from the James Younger gang of Jesse James. In 1866, she married Jim Reed, a horse thief. Etta Place, a figure with uncertain outlines, is remembered as Butch Cassidy's companion and later wife of Harry Longabaugh, the Sundance Kid. Sources suggest she was both a lover and a logistical supporter of the Wild Bunch, taking part in planning and hiding escape routes, and after robberies in the U.S., accompanying the pair in their flight and exile in Argentina. Eleanor Dumont, possibly born in New Orleans around 1829 to a Creole family, had a poorly documented childhood, leaving much uncertain. Her public life began in Nevada City, where she opened a card gaming house. With clear rules and her own table, the place stood out. Men flocked in, intrigued by a female dealer and her formal manners. Bonnie Parker was born in 1910 in Rowena, Texas. After her father's death, she moved to Dallas, where she studied hard, wrote poetry, and worked as a waitress, nurturing dreams of acting. In 1930, at 19, she met Clyde Barrow, a 20-year-old ex-con. Their fast bond would redefine their lives during the Great Depression.